My boyfriend's childhood friends moved into our basement. Then things got creepy. So, right after my boyfriend moved in, I made the mistake of thinking it was a good idea to let my boyfriend's childhood friends, a couple, let's call them Mark and Jill, move into our basement to save money. My boyfriend had known Mark and Jill since they were kids, and Mark was working with my boyfriend at the time. I actually liked both of them. We'd hang out, have dinner together 4 or 5 times a week, and everything seemed totally normal. I genuinely didn't think it'd be a problem. Spoiler, it was a problem. A big one. At first, things were fine. But then Jill started getting weird. It started small. Like she'd wait by the front door for me to get home from work. Not like casually passing through, waiting. Then she'd immediately go in for a long, lingering hug and say things like, "I love you so much." Every single day. I brushed it off at first. Maybe she was just overly affectionate. But then she started making odd, jealous comments about my body. I'd be wearing like jeans and a t-shirt, and she'd say something like, "Wow, must be nice to have a butt like that," but in this weird, resentful tone. Also, if anyone, especially her boyfriend, complimented my cooking, she'd visibly tense up and say things like, "Oh, I guess we all have our talents," followed by a dead-eyed smile. Next came the comments about money. Turns out they were the, "May I speak to your manager" type at every restaurant. And even though my utilities had more than doubled, they complained behind my back that I was charging them too much. We were splitting the bills. I would literally show them. How was I charging them too much? When she saw my engagement ring, after asking if it was real, she said, "Oh, must be nice to afford that," with a smug little chuckle, like I was rubbing it in her face. Mind you, at the time, they were living in my house, paying less than what they were paying before. Then I got pregnant, and that's when Jill fully unhinged. She started talking about how she was going to quit her job and become our full-time nanny. Except we didn't ask for one. And I told her I planned to breastfeed. Her response? "Oh, I'll still help out at night. I'll be right there with you." What? Then the kicker, she casually mentioned that she told her coworker we were going to share the baby. Share the baby. I told my boyfriend, who finally admitted that this was super creepy. It was his idea to ask them to move. We gave them a generous 4-month notice to find a new place. And that's when the passive-aggressive silent war started. Jill stopped speaking to me completely. It was too hard for them to use the shared kitchen, so they started eating dinner at Jill's mom's house. That didn't last long. Mark and Jill only communicated with my boyfriend. It was like I'd been ghosted in my own home. They'd walk past me without even looking at me, but if my boyfriend was around, they were suddenly all smiles. To make matters worse, Mark started sitting out back with my boyfriend and secretly telling him that I was crazy and manipulative. He was trying to poison the well, subtly implying I was the problem while Jill plotted to be my backup uterus. We counted the days until they finally left, and when they did, they left skid marks. No goodbye, no thanks. They left behind any gifts we'd ever given them and all their filth and trash. Still owed me for utilities and movies they rented on my cable account. Just pure, awkward, skin-crawling weirdness. So yeah, if your boyfriend's childhood friends need a place to stay, let them know the nearest Motel 6 has vacancy. Because sometimes helping people out turns into a hand that rocks the cradle thriller, with bonus gaslighting and a surprise custody battle over a baby that hasn't even been born yet. 10 out of 10 would not recommend.